It's 8:30, everyone. Kit gave us explicit rules that we have to start right on time. So we're going to get started. So the first thing we have to do is aloha.
Aloha.
All right, we got some Hawaiians in here. But that wasn't good enough. Aloha.
Aloha.
Okay. Real quickly, we're going to have our Hawaiian word lesson here to start this. So we just want to say aloha, ahiaha, e komo mai. And I already messed that up. It's aloha, ahi, ahi. That means aloha, good evening, and welcome. So tomorrow morning, you'll have to remember this. It's aloha kahahiaka, which is good morning. We'll be quizzed on that.
Good night.
Okay, so thanks for coming. With that, we're going to turn it over to Miss Kit.
I got my own. Thanks for you guys. That's why you come early. Follow the bouncing ball with this group. Wow, what a big group we've got tonight. Wonderful. Good to see you all. So we're going to talk about the magic of Hawaii tonight. Now, we've got 4 representatives of the islands. Each person will talk about one island, the one they live on. Our slide creator is our very own Caleb, who you can't see back behind the lectern. But he's back there. He created these slides. That first one is, I think, amazing. And I think they get better from here. So, with that, I'm going to bid you enjoy. Take it away, John.
Good evening. Want to add one word to what Joe gave. Mahalo. Says thank you. With aloha and mahalo, you can work your way throughout Hawaii very successfully. A few other things that I think you should know. For those of you that are geopolitically challenged, Hawaii is a state of the United States, and it accepts dollars. Lots and lots and lots of dollars. Oh, sorry, I'm John. I'm from Oahu. A few other things that are, I think, universal to Hawaii. When you go out and plan what you want to do, remember, Mother Nature knows best. Hawaii will tell you what you can do and what you can't do. So don't be afraid to change your plans when the weather tells you to. You'll be a lot happier if you do. Be realistic about what you attempt. Lots of people show up in Hawaii to get that very last photograph, and too often it is their last. Everything in Hawaii we have some wonderful outdoor activities. They all have their own degree of risk. Be realistic about what you do, and don't be afraid to stop if you get to a point where you're uncomfortable. Never turn your back to the waves. Time and traffic are your enemy. Virtually every island you will be on, there'll be traffic somewhere, and it can add a huge amount of distance to what you plan. So when you're laying your thing out, be realistic about what kind of time it might take to get to place to place. The further you have to go, the more you have to compensate for that. With that, let me move on to Oahu. We only have about a day and a half on Oahu due to our late arrival and a relatively early departure. The early or the late arrival means that you may be past the pickup point for a lot of what would be the typical commercially available tours. So make sure you check what the pickup times are when you do your planning. Transportation options to consider on Oahu: car rental, Turo. They're wonderful options. Having a car is a great assistance, but it also lays a burden on you of finding a place to park. And parking, particularly in Waikiki area, in Honolulu, can be a terrible burden and very expensive. So measure that when you figure out what your transportation options are. Taxi and Uber are prevalent. You'll find they aren't significantly different in cost because a lot of the Uber drivers are also taxi drivers and vice versa. We have a wonderful bus system on Oahu. It's relatively easy to use, although the app Da Bus is not necessarily terribly user-friendly. But if you combine that with Google Maps, it will tell you how to get from place to place and the bus and timing to use. It's a good system if it works out for you. With that, let me go to the map. Here you see Oahu. What I'm going to be talking about for the most part is this section here. Not because this doesn't deserve the discussion, but trying to combine anything over here with the activities that I think you would like to participate in over there, just is a burden that is terribly difficult. Let me start. Can you see okay if I over here? Oh. Okay. Want to start talking about what some of the alternatives are for visiting Oahu. I assume that a number of you probably have not been there before. What I would recommend for those that would just like a general understanding, indoctrination to the island would be two parts. One would be a tour that takes you around the island. Many people come to Oahu and all they see is Waikiki, and Waikiki is not Oahu. Oahu has its own beauty, its own individualism, and if this is your first time, I think you should experience all of it. So one day I would commit to around the island, and the second I would do Waikiki. Waikiki is blessed with just about everything you can imagine. It's got decent beaches, it's got restaurants, shops, activities that are beach oriented. There are sailboats that leave from the beach. There's submarine tours. It's just got everything that would make a day absolutely, filled. So, for those of you who are interested in that overview, there are a number of commercial tours that do that. I will, if I have time, talk to some of the things that I think you should include, some of the things I think you should avoid. If I don't get to cover it, don't hesitate to see me sometime offline, and we'll go through that. For those that are not interested in the general overview, one option is to just immerse yourself in one of the specifics associated with Oahu. There's the World War II historical aspect of that. For that, you first would be interested in Pearl Harbor, and the other thing I think that goes nicely with that is to go to Punch Bowl, which is the military cemetery of the Pacific. It is a very, very moving experience, besides which it has one of the best viewpoints of all of Honolulu. I would love to be able to offer you an in-depth indoctrination on the history of Hawaii and Hawaiian people. Unfortunately, Sunday and Monday, the palace is closed, and that is one of the primary places where you can benefit from that history of the Hawaiian people, the Hawaiian kingdom, and the overthrow. The other place that would be second on my list would be the Summer Palace, which is also closed. So your options for getting to know Hawaii are very limited given the days we have. One option is Waimea Valley. Waimea means Red River red water, actually, by the way. And lots of the rivers in Hawaii run red due to the iron content of the creeks. It's up here on the North Shore. It's the last fully occupied ahupua'a in Hawaii. Now that's one of the political, social subdivisions by which ancient Hawaiians divided. Generally building along a stream bed where their residences would be up at the very top of the stream, and as you went down they would have fields, they would planting, and when the creek meets the water, that would be where they would have their fish pond. So because of the importance of streams and rivers to their lifestyle, that is also how they tended to organize themselves politically. The Waimea River gives you that opportunity. I would only do it if you were doing a do-it-yourself tour around the island and you had the opportunity to take a couple hours and go into this. The other one, which I'm sure you've heard about, is the Polynesian Cultural Center. It's not my favorite because I feel it is a little bit artificial, but many people would disagree with me on that. It tends to talk to the uniqueness and culture of each one of the Polynesian islands, Polynesian families, and so that I would offer you as an opportunity. If you're going to do that, plan on taking pretty much a full day. It's divided up into, each one of the island groups throughout Polynesia. It also includes a luau in the evening if you choose to involve yourself in that as well. It takes a lot of time. Third one that I have on my list is Kulo Ranch, which is over here. So it's also a fair distance from where we'll be down here. Kulo Ranch is an area where a large number of the films shot in Hawaii used as their basis. It's kind of a jungle area, and if that's your thing, it's another 3 or 4 hour expenditure. But if you want to embrace the filmmaking and really get to know that, it's a good stop. Moving on to other things that I know people are interested in. Hikes. The hikes that I've highlighted are down here. They're Diamond Head, Cocoa Crater is right here, and Makapu'u. Makapu'u is the easiest. It's a really nice hike. It's paved, goes up to a lighthouse that was part of a military facility during the war. But easy hike. You can just show up and do that one. Diamond Head, you need to make reservations. It's more difficult, but anybody in reasonably good physical shape can do Diamond Head. Cocoa is another order of magnitude more difficult. It's up the spine of a old crater. Goes up where the cable railway was, and it's very difficult. Okay, briefly, Waikiki. As I said earlier, it's got everything you need, and I would be glad to walk through it with anybody and show some things that would be helpful. And with that, I'm passing my baton. No questions? We'll do that afterwards.
So remember your questions. I'm impressed. Either you suck, hits 2 and 1 minute warnings, or you're just really good. I'm Cindy. I've lived on Kauai For the last 14 years, like 7 months a year, just to get rid of winter. I used to go there for vacations, and I finally figured out how to live there. So I'm going to branch off into a couple general Hawaii things because I think they're so important and fascinating, and you may not know about them. But the whole state of Hawaii is a 1,600-mile long archipelago with over 130 islands and reefs. So you imagine this out in the middle of the ocean. It is the most isolated lands on Earth, 2,400 miles from the nearest continent, which is North America. So when you're there, I often felt, sorry, Belfast taught me that that's a normal word. I always felt like I was really in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and you are. You are the most isolated place in the Earth. Therefore, they have no reptiles or amphibians. The only native mammals they have, and this is true for all of Hawaii, is the hoary bat and the monk seal. And you will undoubtedly see monk seals on the beach. They are very endangered. Stay far back from them and enjoy them. You will see lots of little lizard things that you think, well, wait a minute, Cindy said there's no reptiles. The little things, if they're black and gray or brown, they're anoles. If they're green with a couple of red spots, they're chameleons. And that you will see a lot of, but they're not native. Okay, we got the old map up. Kauai and Ni'ihau, up in the far west corner, those are the oldest geologically, which is why more sand beaches. And as you go down, okay.
Go back to the
That's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Go back to the
As you go further down to the Big Island, there's much less beaches, and why the Big Island is still erupting. Geologically, it's much newer. Geologically, Kauai is the oldest. Only 5% of Kauai, and similar for all the other islands, is above sea level. So you can imagine, 5% of what you're going to see on these islands is not the whole island. The other 95% is under the water. And in Kauai, 47% of the whole perimeter of the island is sandy beaches. And again, it's because it's so old, and you can't go very far in Kauai without seeing a beach park or a beach or whatever. And all the beaches in the state of Hawaii are open to the public. There's no private beaches. Nobody can say you can't come on my property to get to the beach. That's just the way it is. Also, the only navigable rivers in the state of Hawaii are on Kauai. Mount Walialiali, who's heard of that? Mount Walialiali, a couple people. It is the rainiest place on Earth, with an average of 430 inches a year. It is smack in the middle of Kauai. And on a clear sunny day, if you're up, I'll show you later, up in the rainforest area, you will get to see it. There are only 2 seasons. One is the warm and one is the not so warm. We are just beginning the warm season, which runs from May through October, which is why I always lived there during the not so warm season. And the language, if we have time, I'll talk to you more about that. But there's 5 vowels and 7 consonants in the entire Hawaiian language. Every vowel is pronounced. Therefore, my town, Kapa'a, K-A-P-A-A, it's Kapa'a. Every vowel is pronounced, and every syllable ends in a vowel. I'll tell you more of that later if I have time. So, my options for you, I didn't know I'd have a map like this that I could use the laser pointer. My 3 options for you is you can stay by the ship. Where we are parked is right at Kalapaki Beach, which is hard sand. You can do fast walks and not sink in the sand. There's a nice small mall with restaurants. There's an ABC store. You'll see ABC stores all over the state of Hawaii. ABC stands for Aloha Brings Customers. And down on Kalapaki Bay, there's Duke's Restaurant, which is famous for good food and good drink. There's a huge hotel, I think it's a Sonesta, off to the right. That's not for us. But right before Duke's, there's also a place that rents surfboards and gives lessons and all that kind of stuff. So that's, how do you work this thing?
Push the button.
Oh, I can't even read those words. They're so tiny. Okay, well, down by this, nope, can't read them. Right about here is where the ship's going to be docked. And that's at Kalapaki Bay. And so I'm first going to take you to the west. So when I have visitors come, we take a day to go to the west, the dry side, and then we take a day to go to the north, the wet side. So as you're going west, Lihue is like the main city center, like the capital of the island, but just a bunch of box stores and Costco and Kmart, or Costco and Walmart and what do you call it? Home Depot. So anyway, when you keep going west from Lihue, you're going to run into the coffee plantation, Hawaii. This particular coffee plantation has the most Hawaii grown in the United States. So of course, you can only grow it on Kauai, or on Hawaii. And just a little ways past Lihue, you're going to run into a sign that says Waialua Falls. It's 4 miles off the road to the right. Does anybody remember the show Fantasy Island? The plane. That was filmed at the bottom of Waialua Falls. It's just awesome falls and really close, good parking. Then after that, you're going to run into Port Allen. Port Allen, somewhere down here. This map's hard to read, sorry. Port Allen is where all of the boat tours begin from. There's many different boat tours. And across the street from all the boat tour companies is the Kauai Beer Company. My favorite boat company, and I'm happy to advertise it, is Captain Andy's. If any of you want to reserve boats and you want to know why that's my favorite, I'm happy to talk to you. When you keep going, you're going to run into Old Town Hanapepe. Never mind, I'm giving up on this map. I'm old-fashioned, so I brought my... Kid says I only have 2 minutes left. Okay. Moving on. You're going to get down to Poipu area. Poipu's not a city. My favorite cliff walk is there at Shipwreck Beach. So you can Google Shipwreck Beach to find it. Skip all that. Then the Waimea Canyon is the Grand Canyon of the Pacific. It's absolutely spectacular. If you were driving and you're taking a tour, it's like a full day trip. Up the canyon, there's tons of hiking, and you stop at the little museum and say, okay, which hikes are muddy today and which ones are dry, and they'll give you a map and steer you. There's a restaurant there, or you can see the Waimea Canyon from a helicopter. The cool thing about hiking up there and going there is it's 10 to 15 degrees cooler. Oh, should I have 1 minute? The Nepali coast, on the very northwest side of that map, you cannot see the Nepali coast. There's no access to it unless you are on a boat or a helicopter. I go out on like 4 or 5 boats a year, but there's no whales now, so that's not whale season. Or you can take a helicopter. It's just full of alluvial fans, just like big things that stick out of the mountains. And that's my favorite. It's just beautiful. So, Nepali coast, do you need a boat or a helicopter? At the very end of the road is the Pacific Missile Range Facility. I don't have time to tell you more about that though. Okay, go back to the ship. Going north, I've told you can hike up in the Waimea Canyon. I've told you to hike at Shipwrecks Beach. Going north, there's the Sleeping Giant hike. I'm out of time. Okay. Well, I have a cool thing to tell you privately about where you can swim with the turtles and where you can see the turtles every late afternoon. Pull up on the beach, like 20 of them. That's in Koipu. I have much more to tell you. Poipu, that's down south. When I timed this, it was much shorter, but I wasn't ad-libbing things, so. He taught you how to say thank you, mahalo. I'm gonna teach you an extension of that. Mahalo nui loa means thank you very much. Mahalo nui loa.
Hello everyone, I'm Diana and I live on Maui and now Villa Vie, yay. I've been on Maui for 7 years, going on 8. I've been a tour guide, Lyft and Uber driver, and a concierge on the island for the last 4 years. I'm just going to run through briefly what you can do on Maui in our short 10 hours that we're there. And depending on when we get off the ship, I'm just going to give you some things you can do. We're going to start with by the ship, what's for shopping. We're going to have to find out from Matilda if there's going to be a shuttle at the port, because most of the cruise ship passengers I know have to walk from the cruise ship about 20 minutes to Whole Foods parking lot, which is a Whole Foods, Long Frogs, and a plaza of shopping, and then you can walk a short distance to the Queens Mall. Taxis, I believe, are the only ones able to pick up at the port, but Lyft and Uber can drop you off at the ship, from what I understand from my own experience. You can arrange car rentals locally. You'll have to take a taxi to there, or Turo will leave your car there at Whole Foods. If you're going to be self-touring, I would definitely recommend the Turo because it's right there at the ship. You can pick it up and you can drop it off. No worries, no problems, no figuring out how to get to and there. So around the ship, you've got Whole Foods, Longs, as I said, shopping plaza, restaurants, Queens Mall, Walmart, Target, Costco, Lowe's, and Home Depot. We only have one of each. We have tons of food trucks around Costco. Thank you, COVID. We can now get any kind of food you want, nationality, all in this same central area. Close to the ship, for activities is Iao Valley State Park. It is one of the most sacred places in all of Hawaii. It's one where they had one of the last battles of the chiefs before King Kamehameha united the islands. The waters ran with blood, so they say if you dip yourself in those nice cold waters, you'll be blessed, heal you, part of the magic of Hawaii. There is also replica homes of the plantation workers, your Portuguese, Japanese, Chinese, Korean, and your Filipino. It's beautiful. And then you go on up and there's excellent hiking. Cascading waterfalls, freshwater pools you can swim in. That's Twin Falls, but it's cascading waterfalls and freshwater pools. And then once you come out of Iao Valley, you can go over to Maui Tropical Plantation, which isn't too far from there. And there's a cart tour there that can take you through the botanical gardens, shucking a coconut, cutting it open for you. There's also farmers market with local goods made by locals. Beautiful restaurant with an excellent view. There's also a golf course close by there. And then the Waihi Reg Trail, because there's many Mauians that live on board. 1, 2, 3, 4, a couple of them are on board right now. So golf is all over the island. You can find courses up country, Wailea, close to the ship, and also on the other side of the island. All right, so Mo'olai Harbor also would be in that category of things you could get in that short amount of time. So Iao Valley, Maui Tropical Plantation, and Mo'olai Harbor for the aquarium would be something that you could do in a timely manner and also get in some shopping and maybe some beach time. All right, let's move on to the North Shore. We have Paia Town, where you can shop local and great food restaurants. Right past there is Ho'ikipa, where the surfers, and sometimes if we're lucky, turtles. Please stay away from them, 10 feet. Do not harass them. They are endangered and protected. You'll see wind and kite surfers, and it's some of the most beautiful surf I've ever seen in my life. You can also go to Mama's Fish House and swim at their beach, which is really calm there. Unfortunately, there are no more reservations for that day. We tried. Past Ho'ikipa, going into Haiku and Huelo, which is the beginning of the road to Hana, is Twin Falls. So if you don't have time to make it to Road to Hana and you don't want to risk it on a tour or self-driving, because it is 620 curves, 59 bridges, and 46 of them are one lane. So you can attempt it if you'd like, but if you miss the ship, you will have to fly over to Big Island and meet us. Bamboo pictures, botanical gardens, and waterfall you can swim in are at Twin Falls, and that's 45-minute drive from the ship. Full route to Hana, I talked to one of my friends who owns a tour company today, and he did say that he absolutely could accommodate, so see me afterwards. If you are interested in doing the full road to Hana, he can make it happen and get you back at the ship. Let's see. Halfway to Hana is Auntie Sandy's Banana Bread. I know you can make that trip to Kenai Peninsula. The peninsula itself is beautiful. There's taro patches there. There's botanical gardens on the way. There's rainbow eucalyptus trees and waterfalls. And when you get down to Auntie Sandy's, it's the best banana bread you will ever have in your life. The secret is apple bananas. And Auntie Sandy's love, of course. Let's see. So that takes us through the North Shore. Let's move on over to Upcountry. So Upcountry is the Haleakala Summit. Haleakala is the world's largest dormant volcano at 10,330 feet elevation. We have the Nene Goose up there, which migrated to Hawaii some 5,000 plus years ago, and they evolved and developed web feet so that they could walk on the lava. We also have a silver sword plant up there that only grows in those temperatures, and it's the hina silver sword. And it will grow for like 90 years, bloom and die. Very sad, but very beautiful plant. It is the fastest ascent in the world. It has 20 switchbacks. So you can potentially, depending on how good of a driver you are, make it up there in 2 hours, make it back down in an hour and a half. Beautiful views up country of all the islands. You're above the clouds. Up country, you also have Makawao Town, which is our rodeo town, Paniolo, which means cowboy, and Makawao Forest for a beautiful hike. Up country, we also have lavender farms, botanical gardens, the Ocean Vodka Distillery, the Maui Winery, and another distillery. And Pukalani Golf Course is one of the least expensive golf courses and a beautiful course. Just letting you know, those golfers who like golfing. And so that takes care, I believe, of Upcountry. Makawao, yes. Okay, so let's move over to the south side. Kihei, Wailea, and Makana. Kihei is where the Triangle and Kalama Village, where all your bars, beaches, and shopping, and I know Lynette and Johan are planning on having a get-together with all the buds and getting over there in Kihei, so get with them if you want to meet up and have some drinks and meet all their friends. Wailea, which is called Maui Vu. It is beautiful. Your fancier shopping, fancier restaurants, golf courses, etc. Beautiful drive along the coast to Makana to La Cruz Bay. La Cruz Bay is the most recent lava flow on Maui, 300 to 400 years old. But it is, it's a beautiful drive through the lava, and you can go out and hike, and that is actually where I first saw my first monk seal, was at La Cruz Bay. It was 82 days old, and that was my first experience with a monk seal. I was magical. I get excited about whales and this. Right, so let's move from south side, which is shopping in Wailea, to the west side. The west side, as you know, Lahaina, 4-mile area of our home was burnt, and we lost many lives, businesses, and everything else. If you do decide to drive over to the west side, we would ask that you show some respect. Do not try to go down the front street. You are not welcome there. You will not be able to see Banyan Tree Park. You will come up over the bypass and you'll see a memorial wall for those people that were documented that were lost, but there's still many people undocumented that were not legally in the States, so they didn't list them as missing. When you come down over the bypass, you can go left and it'll take you through the desolation where there are no buildings or houses, and is a little bit of rebuilding. If you go to your right, you'll see the Kanapali Resort, the Sheraton Black Rock where you can jump off the cliffs. You can continue on up to Kapalua, the blowholes, and also the Abilene pools. But if you do, once again, please, show some respect, Malama Aina, and the people as well. And thank you. And if you have any questions, I can answer any and all your questions, timelines, costs of Lyft and Uber, and local groceries and everything else. I would be more than happy to help.
All right, well, my name is Jim, aka Kona Jim. Most of you know we have a few of us on board, and now it's Jim right in front of me. We got Jim filming, anyway, mustache Jim. So I've lived in Kona for 46 years, my entire adult life. I graduated from Kona High School there, so it's been my home as long as I can remember. I do want to add real quickly something that John mentioned. I'd like to add our state fish. He was talking about the 7 continents, consonants. Sorry, I didn't take English at Kona. Anyway. We repeat vowels and letters all the time. Our state fish is the humu humu nuku nuku apua a. That means, roughly translated, the fish with the nose of a pig. So we just, when we run out of letters, we just repeat them. So that's that. Okay. Couple of quick ones. For lack of a better word, no's. A no here. For those of you who like to take pictures at all our ports, you will find that on the Big Island there is no Hilo sign and no Kona sign, unfortunately. So don't look for them. We don't have them yet. There are a few photographers that sign. Okay. Another no for the Big Island I don't recommend. It's not a no, but luau's. We have some great luau's on the island. Kauai and Maui is probably where I'd recommend to go. But unfortunately, Kona has the best luau's on the Big Island, but we're not there in the evening. We leave. So we can't do the luau. Hilo doesn't have much. So if you're going to do a luau, maybe Kauai is probably your best bet. It's kind of a lot more country out in Kauai. So
Smith's luau
really nice.
in Kauai, I didn't get to it. Smith's.
Okay. So we do have a good luau in Kauai. And again, afterwards, guys, as we've said a couple of times, come ask us. We'll answer all questions, okay? Kind of tight on time tonight. A couple housekeeping items, as people have already said, on the Big Island, we also have a Walmart. We talk Target, Costco, and Kona, so all your shopping's very close to the port, so it's easy to get to. Pharmacies, if you need medications, we've got Walmarts on both sides of the island, CVS pharmacies, and then we have Kaiser and Costco and Kona. So if you need your medications, you can get to them pretty easy from the ship, so it's a good spot there on the Big Island. I've also let people know, if you need anything on the ship, Kona's a tender port, so I can't bring anything big, but if you want something mailed to me that we can hand carry, and we get on, I also will be driving to Hilo on the 7th, the first day in Hilo. So any bigger island items, if you want mail them to me, and I will deliver them to you so you can get them on. So just FYI, see me later. Weather, John mentioned, so I had it down here. I just wanted to say, make sure you take your umbrella, especially on the Hilo side. Sunny 5 minutes, rainy the next. Fortunately, it's comfortable. When it starts raining on the beach, none of us go inside, so at least it's warm. But if you're up in Volcano and it's 4,000 feet, it gets cold. So make sure you have an umbrella with you. If you have one on the ship, take it with you when you're traveling around Hilo. Getting around, car rentals, as said, on the island, they're both on Hilo and Kona side, close to the port, so you'll be able to rent a car or a tour. We do have Uber and Lyft also on the Big Island. So there are no real buses on the Big Island, though. If you're going to busing, Oahu has an incredible bus system. The outer islands really don't, so don't really think about buses, okay? Bicycles, another great way to get around. We have a bike hire system within a half mile of each one of our ports. You can rent them, put the money in, take them out of the rack, rent them for an hour. So bikes are a good way to get around the Big Island. We don't have that much traffic. It's the least traffic island you'll find. Helicopter rides, they're very pricey, worth every penny. Okay, recommend if you're only going to do one helicopter ride, probably Kauai, the Napili coastline, Mount Waialeale, gorgeous. If you're going to do one on the Big Island, though, if the volcano's erupting, you'll never forget it. Do it. I've done it. My daughters have done it. Everyone goes. We do it. It's pricey, but it's just incredible. We've got Waipio Valley. We got the waterfalls. It's just an incredible sightseeing by air. So the helicopter rides, highly recommend if you're going to do it. A little pricey, but worth it. Golfing, I don't golf, but also, as everyone's mentioned, got lots of golfing. We've got municipal course in Hilo. We have a couple courses in Kona that are cheaper. We also, of course, have the Hawaii course for the PGA Tour champions, where all the old guys play every year. So we got some real nice ones. Great golfing if you're doing that. Zip lining. Again, don't recommend. There's so many cool things on the Big Island, but if you want to do it, in Kona, there's one about an hour away. In Hilo, there is one that's only 26 miles away. Again, it's kind of expensive, but you zip line over waterfalls. So it's pretty cool. So if you like zip lining, there is that. Okay, in Kona, cars, again, at the airport, or there is one car dealer where you can rent cars. It's only a 5-minute drive or a 20-minute walk from the port, so they're close by. Right in Kailua Kona Bay, where the boat will be anchored and tendered, right at the bay, you can get a submarine tour. You can do glass bottom boat tours, and of course snorkeling boat tours. So right at the pier, right where you get off, there'll be some good tours if you want to do that kind of stuff. When you get off the ship, you're right on Ali'i Drive. Downtown Kailua Kona, the old town, it's about a mile long. You've got your Mokuakawa Church, the oldest Christian church still in existence there in Hawaii, is there. You've got a whole bunch of coffee shops, souvenirs, shave ice, which is really good, farmers market, and you have Hula He'i Palace. Now the Hula He'i Palace should be open because it's on Saturday and Sunday. It is the second palace in the United States after the palace in Oahu. Beaches, if you like beaches. King Cam Hotel is right there. It's actually King Kamehameha. Sorry, do not say King Cam. That is not proper. King Kamehameha. There's a little beach there at the hotel. Tacky, tourist, no big deal. The old airport beach park, 30-minute walk away or 5-minute ride. It's got a nice beach. But the best beach in Kona is the Kua Bay, which Caleb's got up there. Kua Bay is it's about a 25-minute ride. Gorgeous. We use it all the time. If you want to go to the Christmas one there, Caleb, this is what we do in Hawaii at Christmas time. We'll go to the next one. This is my daughter and my son-in-law and I a year ago Christmas of 23. Anyway, we set up Christmas trees on the beach. That's what we like to do for fun. So that's at Kua Bay there. Snorkeling. There is a beach park about 5 miles from the pier. I don't recommend it. Too small of an area, too many people, too much sunscreen, destroyed. If you want snorkeling, the best snorkeling I have seen anywhere in the world, I haven't been everywhere, so I want to preface that, but everything I've seen here, the best snorkeling in Hawaii by far, most of the places I've seen, is what we call two-step, okay? Two-step, you can actually ask Siri for it. I can't say that too loud or my phone will find it, but you can ask her for directions to two-step. It's our local name, but she knows where that's at. It's about 26-minute drive from the pier, so you'll need to get a car. Do not recommend Uber or Lyft for this. You get down there, there's no vehicles in South Kona. Trying to get back, you might have a hard time getting one to get back. So be careful if you get an Uber ride and head south through Kealakekua, Captain Cook, Napopo, and all those areas. It's kind of hard to get back, so be careful of that. Kona coffee tours. Obviously, we got our famous Kona coffee. A lot of coffee farms offer free tours, tastings. A lot of fun. They show you how it's picked, grown, picked, roasted, all that stuff. Free samples. So even if you don't drink coffee, it's something you might want to do. Deep sea fishing. We have our deep sea fishing port in Honokahau Harbor, so you can go out deep sea fishing. It's only a few miles away. Your two brews that we have in Kona Ola Brew or Kona Longboard Loggers and stuff, restaurants there. If you want to know, we'll show you it later. My ideal day for Kona, snorkeling at two-step, go to a coffee farm, Kua Bay. Easily to do in one day. Okay? Hilo, the biggest thing in Hilo is probably the number one thing you want to do in Hawaii if it's erupting is the volcano. Unfortunately, I just called the volcano hotline, which is down at the Volcano National Park, and episode 22 has paused. It's not erupting at the moment, On a good note, episode 23 is expected to begin in 3 to 6 days. There's so much seismic activity, they know it's going to erupt again. So if it's erupting, you got to do it. Go in the daytime and late in the afternoon to go get dinner at Volcano Village, and then go back at night when it's erupting at night if there's stopping. It's a site you'll never, ever forget, okay? Waipio Valley is another one that's a nice thing to do. You've got Mauna Kea stargazing at night. Incredible. The Milky Way looks like clouds in the sky. So if you want to go up on Mauna Kea, it's a great thing to do. So my ideal day in Volcano, or in Hilo, day 1 would be go to Volcano and spend the day. And then day 2, I would go north to go Rainbow Falls, Akaka Falls, and the Waipio Lookout. So make sure you grab a malasada on the way. It's one of our local delicacies. And with that, I am Pau, which means in Hawaiian, I'm finished. So, Kit, back to you.
I think it's Q&A time, so you guys are all up. Should I get another microphone?
I can stand.
Well, the three of you sure? Okay. Oh. So, Q&A, and you guys answer away.
Kit, are you calling?
I want to go see the great big surfers on those enormous waves. Is that North Shore? What island is that?
It is the North Shore, but you won't be able to. The North Shore erupts in the winter. In the summer, it's a lake. You cannot believe how significant the difference is when you're watching these 40 to 60 foot waves in the winter, that if you come back 6 months later, there is not a wave in sight.
Jaws.
It's a beautiful beach up there, but it's just not the waves you want to,
No, it's only.
But you can learn to go surf if you want to go to Waikiki. There'll be people that will teach you there in a day trip.
Okay, thanks.
John, what websites do you have to go to register for Pearl Harbor?
I would suggest that anybody who is interested in Pearl Harbor, please get together with me afterward. Pearl Harbor is complicated. And I plan really to do that offline. There just isn't really time to do it. And so just, I'll stay around. Please, anyone who's interested in Pearl Harbor, get with me afterwards.
Hamuna Bay, I believe it's called.
Hanama Bay.
Hanama Bay is closed on Monday and Sunday. You will not be able to see it. If you want to do snorkeling on Oahu, there's a wonderful snorkeling area called Twin Tables, but it's all the way at the top of the island, about as far as you can get from where we're located. So I would only do that if it was part of an around the island day trip. But it's a marine protected area and just absolutely superb for snorkeling.
Scuba diving in Kona?
Yeah. Yeah, a couple, scuba diving is the best in Kona. It's larger than all the other islands combined. Any kind of swell we have or rain, it basically gets all over the island. So the coral in Kona is 150 miles of leeward coast with almost 14,000 foot mountains. 200-foot visibility. Summertime, as John said, it's glass during the summer. You can see down, when you go to two-step, you actually have to chase the yellow tangs out of the way to jump in the waters. It's so clear, you'll see them from the surface. So scuba diving in Kona, get with me, I'll give you some different organizations, but there's right there at the pier, you'll be able to go. Great scuba diving in Kona.
Are you going?
Am I going? I have 20,000 tanks over the last 45 years. That's what I did for the living. The last thing I'm going to do is go scuba diving when I'm going.
Actually, it was just a comment. One of the options on the Big Island is the Bishop Museum.
On Oahu, Bishop Museum.
Sorry.
Yes. That is one of the aspects, but Bishop Museum shows you items from Hawaiian culture. It really doesn't walk you through the story of Hawaii like you would get at the palace, and it's really unfortunate that we don't have that as an option for us.
John, is it open Sunday or Monday? Do you know the hours?
Bishop
Museum?
Bishop Museum is open. Yeah, I don't remember the exact, but it is open.
9 to 5 daily. I pulled it up just because I wanted to make sure it wasn't suggesting something that was closed.
Interestingly enough, Bishop Museum was started back when Hawaii was a kingdom. Hawaii adapted from its very remote, relatively unsophisticated lifestyle and adopted the British systems, education, healthcare, museums, and 100 years later, it had the highest reading capability of any country in the world.
Cindy, do you want to tell us about your turtles?
A couple things I didn't get to is when you are headed north about halfway up, you will get to Anini Beach, A-N-I-N-I, and there's a sign on the road. If you go in to Anini Beach, as soon as the parking lot comes, you park as soon as you can, and you go straight to the beach. At least 7 months out of the year, you always see the turtles there because it's a symbiotic relationship with the turtles and the fish. The fish come to clean the turtles' backs to eat the algae. The turtles come because they want their back cleaned. So you go out, it's shallow for a mile out. I mean, you can be up to your knees or your hips and be swimming with the turtles. The other turtle story I had is I first took you down south to Poipu Beach. Poipu Beach State Park is awesome, but it's very touristy and crowded. And go early so you can get a parking spot and great restaurants around there. But late in the evening or late in the afternoon or early evening, usually 20 to 30 turtles come up on shore. And also usually a couple of monk seals. So those are my two great turtle spots.
Guys, on the Big Island too, Manalani North, it's about 25 miles north of Kona, the main town. We've got 4 big hotels out there. The Manalani Resort used to get turtles from Sea Life Park, little fry. They raised them, and every year on July 4th, they had Turtle Independence Day. They released them back out to the ocean. So they raised them so they got big enough where they knew they could survive and released them. So if you want to see turtles on the Big Island, you go up north to any of the hotels, jump in the water, and you will see turtles everywhere. They did it for years.
And on Oahu, it's Turtle Beach, again up on the North Shore.
I know on Maui, the thing to do is to hike up to the top of Haleakala for either morning or evening, sunrise or sunset. We don't have that time, right?
No, you don't. You're not. You will have enough time by the time you get off the ship, get your vehicle, drive up to the top of Haleakala, visit the visit center, walk around a little bit, take your pictures, drive back down to Makawao Town, maybe take a little hike through the forest, back down, maybe get some shopping in Paia, and to the ship. I mean, it's very limited time.
No sunset or sunrise.
Question, what island would you recommend sunrise bicycle tours coming down from the volcanoes, riding back down towards the beach?
That would be
Repeat
Big Island,
the
Mauna Kea.
question.
Do they do
No,
that close enough?
Haleakala.
is the only one that has a commercial, and you're not going to get it.
We're there.
So that's the only one. You can ride down from Mauna Kea, but there's no commercial venue going on. So you can't do it by giving a tour.
My question's a bit small or big. It seems there's so much information and so many beautiful places we can go. But like anywhere, we have a day, the most 2. And each of those islands, you could spend a couple of weeks. So if I had to ask a question of each of you, what would you do if you only had a day in each of those islands?
Well, I actually did. I did my favorite Kona. I would do the snorkeling, a 2-step, the coffee tour, and Kua Bay in Kona. In Hilo, you've got to go to the volcano, whether it's erupting or not. There's some lava tube, the Rim trails, steam vents are incredible. And then the second day, maybe go north to the Waipio.
We can do that in the time we're there.
Both of those, all things, the things I listed, you can very easily do in the time that we have. So very simple to do. Again, if you guys want to get with us afterwards, we can go into great details for you based on your interests, because everyone has different interests. We can basically, all of us can have enough information to give you tours for what you want to do, what you should do, you know, on the date in our particular islands.
And you were Maui?
I'm Maui.
Ah,
So
I've been
Maui,
in
we
once.
have 10 hours. You know, you can definitely get in Iao Valley, Maui Tropical Plantation, scoot over to Twin Falls, you know, get a little bit of jungle and waterfall swimming in, as well as, you know, Iao swimming. There's even a beach near the ship. They call it Airport Beach. I personally don't care for Airport Beach. But in Paia Town, where Twin Falls is, there's also beaches there. And depending on the waves, which, you know, as John said, during the winter, our waves are wild on that side. North Shore, because we have the famous Jaws, 70-foot waves. So it's not a very good tender port if we ever had to tender port. Not happening, folks. But I would say that you could get in, you know, some definitely nature. If you're more into wanting to experience the local culture, you know, just come talk to me. We've got plenty of time between now and the time we get there. I can help you plan.
I have a question.
Talk to us. We love it. So talk to us if you want to do stuff.
Yeah, and I will be posting a bunch of stuff on WhatsApp that I
that's
couldn't
too
cover today with,
confusing.
you know,
That is
lots
so
of details.
confusing.
No way I could cover Oahu in the time it was available, so I'll try to add to that in the posting. But please, don't hesitate to stay around tonight or catch us when you see in the halls.
You can stop me anywhere. I will not put anything on WhatsApp because there's too much crap and I don't do it.
Okay, Kathy's been trying to ask a question.
Yeah, my question is on Maui. I don't think you gave us a recommended snorkeling spot.
Well, that is because all of our snorkeling tours, most of them leave at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they're 5 hours from Ma'alaia Harbor to Molokini Crater. Molokini Crater, there are no fish, no turtles, or anything. There are a couple rafting boats that will leave around 10 a.m. from Kihei Boat Ramp, which is about 25 minutes from the ship. Potentially you could make it. Maybe we could even pre-make arrangements to meet them. But once again, they're taking you over to Molokini Crater and then over to what we call the turtle feeding and cleaning stations. They'll bring you back over to shore to 2 other places and let you swim with the turtles. So if snorkeling is something you absolutely want to do, I can let you know what those rafting companies are. But, you know, honestly, we have more time on other islands, and I'm sure the snorkeling is, but yeah, probably just as beautiful.
You can snorkel almost anywhere on Kauai anytime.
That's good.
The only 2 places on Oahu that I recommend for snorkeling are 3 Tables, which is the one that will be available to us, because Hanauma Bay, which is outstanding, unfortunately is closed.
And again, guys, just real quickly, Kona, there's stats. Our open areas that are allowed to be fished in Kona have higher densities populations of fish than all the other conservation districts in the other islands because of the 140 miles of protection. If you want to snorkel, Kona down at, you know, anywhere in Kona is really, really good there. Just FYI.
Road to Hannah.
Yes.
Um,
My favorite.
you said that we probably don't have time to do it, but you also said you have a guy who says you can
If
do it.
you are driving it yourself, but if you're taking a guided tour, which is kind of pricey but so worth it, you are going to get in all the major highlights of Road to Hana and that awesome banana bread, and back in time to make call aboard, because they make sure, so they might skip a few things. You're not really missing it, but you will get to see the most important, which rainbow eucalyptus trees, black sand beach, red sand beach, you know, the botanicals, waterfalls, bamboo forest. Oh, I gotta wrap it up.
We're out of time.
Meet us somewhere.
You guys, this has been wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, real quick. Give it up for Kit. She's been doing this for how long? It takes a lot to do this stuff. She doesn't get enough accolades. Thank you, Kit.
And how about our other visual?
Then while we're digging it up, let's give it up to Walter, who's a wonderful host. Oh, and the bartenders, and the waiters, and the residents. and the residents.